Reports from Italy say that Adrian Newey's future in Formula One is likely to stay rooted in England rather than move to Ferrari soil. After announcing his departure from Red Bull in May, speculation pointed towards Ferrari as his probable next team. But it now seems that this anticipated move is facing plenty of uncertainty as the designer of the RB17 hypercar leans towards staying in his native England. With the departure of technical director Enrico Cardile, rumoured to clear the way for Adrian Newey at Ferrari, team principal Fred Vasseur is reportedly spearheading a recruitment drive in the UK, influenced by Lewis Hamilton. Ferrari, approaching nearly 2 decades since their last championship, have seen mixed fortunes in Formula One's ground effect aerodynamic era. Despite early season promise under Vasseur, Ferrari faltered with their upgrades at the Spanish Grand Prix, failing to maintain their competitive edge. The possibility of Ferrari securing the services of renowned F1 designer Adrian Newey remains a hot topic. Speculation has intensified, suggesting a preliminary agreement may have been reached following a clandestine meeting between Newey and a Ferrari representative at an airport. Fred Vasseur, however, has maintained discretion regarding the potential signing of the designer, refusing to comment publicly until a recent interview with the Financial Times. In this interview, Vasseur hinted strongly at Ferrari's pursuit of British designers, marking a potential change in the team's technical strategy. "We have good people at Ferrari, but I want to reinforce," said the Frenchman, "most F1 technicians are in the UK. If you move from Mercedes in Brackley to Red Bull in Milton Keynes, you keep the children at the same school, you keep the same house. From Friday to Monday you can switch. Coming to Italy, it's a different story. You have to move the family, it's a change of life. The move of Lewis will help us." And this is exactly what has turned Adrian Newey off. According to Motorsport Italy, Newey will be unable to formally announce his decision before the end of September due to contractual obligations with Red Bull. Yet it is becoming evident that his likely destination is not Maranello. The Italian publication reports that Ferrari's recent parting with technical leader Enrico has not created an opening for Newey, as the Scuderia seeks a lead figure who would be present at the factory daily, something Newey prefers not to be involved in. Ferrari actively pursued Adrian Newey, with team principal Fred Vasseur extending a formal offer. But Newey's preference for a consultancy role did not match Ferrari's requirement for an on-site project leader. Additionally, negotiations hit a snag due to Newey's salary expectations. Adrian Newey has been in talks with multiple teams, initially including Williams, Aston Martin and McLaren, but it has been said he has now focused his attention on Aston Martin and McLaren. Speculation surrounds the recent departure of Aston Martin's CEO Martin Whitmarsh, who had a strained relationship with Newey, possibly influencing Newey's potential decision to join the team. Aston Martin seems to be leading the race, particularly following Adrian Newey's private tour of their cutting-edge facilities near Silverstone. McLaren remains a contender, aiming to rekindle their past collaboration with Newey, who was with the team from 1997 to 2005, before his tenure at Red Bull. So where does this leave Ferrari's hopes of bringing together a super team? Not in a good place, that's for sure, especially in light of Lewis Hamilton's latest admission about his blockbuster move to Maranello. Lewis Hamilton has acknowledged that his upcoming move to Ferrari represents a daunting challenge as he prepares to depart Mercedes at the end of the season. Formula One fans can expect to see Hamilton in Ferrari red at the beginning of the 2025 season, marking the end of a more than decade-long partnership with Mercedes. Despite his storied success, Hamilton recognises that there will be a transitional period with its own set of challenges, which he feels intimidated by. "It's going to be new," he told Sky Sports' Martin Brundle. "It's also daunting, because it's new territory. It's a new experience, and will be a challenge. I expect it to be massively different. I mean, the 2 teams I've been with have been British teams. So I'm going into a completely different culture in Italy. It's a much different culture. I don't truly know what to expect." But I have raced in Italy, so I expect it to be a huge amount different, but special and unique in some ways. With or without Adrian Newey, Ferrari's biggest challenge in the coming years will most likely come in the form of Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc clarified that he approaches his battles with the Dutchman, whom he knows well from their long-standing rivalry, in a similar manner to other competitors. But Leclerc said that the outcome of these duels often depends on various factors and strategies. Both drivers are familiar with intense on-track competition, a rivalry that extends back beyond their Formula One careers, with Verstappen renowned for his aggressive racing style. When asked by the media if he approaches racing Max Verstappen differently than other drivers, Charles Leclerc explained that he does not change his approach based on the competitor. Instead, he emphasised that the intensity of their battles is influenced by the stakes involved and the desire to emerge victorious. He said, "No, you get to know the drivers more and more. And obviously with Max, I think he's probably the driver that I know most on the grid, as we have drove against each other since a very long time. Since back in 2010, I think. I think you know more or less how each driver is going to react or fight or defend or attack you. However, I don't fight them in different ways, any of them. I always try to fight in the same way. Then it mostly depends on the situation you are in. And of course, if you are fighting for P6 in the championship and Max is 100 points ahead, you might not fight him as hard. But when a win is on the table, I will always go flat out with whoever it is I'm fighting with." Following Ferrari's recent slump, Charles Leclerc has claimed that the team will soon be able to compete once more for race victories. Ferrari started the season strongly, initially establishing themselves as the second fastest team and clinching victories in Australia and Monaco. But their position has slipped in recent races, with McLaren and Mercedes showing improved performance and moving ahead in the competitive order. Leclerc remains confident that Ferrari's current car has the pace necessary to compete for victories. Yet he says that unlocking its full potential has been a challenging hurdle for the team. "I'm confident that if we do the steps that we are expecting to do soon, then we'll be fighting for race victories," Leclerc said. "We are only speaking about 2 or 3 tenths that today makes a huge difference. But when you put everything back into context, especially with the issues we are facing now, I am confident that once we don't have those issues anymore and that we optimise our package, those 2 or 3 tenths are back in the car. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for the hottest F1 news."